Good morning, everyone. My name is Riya Patel. This presentation summarizes an end-to-end analysis of New York City bike trip data. I built a practical pipeline that cleans the data, scales the computation, and turns the result into clear operational guidance for staffing and bike rebalancing. So the agenda of this project is I will move in 5 parts: project goals, data sources, methodology, results, and the conclusion that matter in practice. I kept the goals simple and concrete. First, normalize the data. Different months shift with different column names and time format, so reliability starts with consistent parsing. Second, quantify temporal demand, who rides when and for how long. Third, identify dominant origin to destination corridors and station imbalances, because rebalancing is about flow, not acidotes. Fourth, measure network influence with graph analytics, so we know which station matter most globally, not just by raw counts. Fifth, localize spatial hotspots on the grid so trucks can stage near demand rather than chase it. So for the data source, the input is city bike trip logs from May through July 2024. After cleaning, dropping negative or over 24-hour trips, and enforcing valid timestamps, the unified dataset contains 13 million rows. Month-to-month scheme drift is real: started at versus started time, ended at versus stop time, and multiple station ID, name variants. We reconcile those and compute trip duration primarily from timestamps with a trip duration upon 60 fallback when needed. The implementation has 6 parts. First, preparation: Pandas, unify headers, parse timestamps with multiple patterns, compute minutes, and keep a stable set of fields. Second, MapReduce, MrJob, 2 jobs, one for origin destination counts, one for hourly average duration. Third, Spark RDDs, low-level maps filter and join to exercise distributed primitives and verify the data paths. Fourth, Spark DataFrames SQL, hourly states, station departure versus arrivals, and top pairs, the efficient way to aggregate large data. Fifth, Graph Pure PySpark, build a directed station graph weighted by trip counts, compute in degree, out degree, and page rank with power iteration. Sixth, Spatiotemporal, bin stats to 1 kilometer grid tile and aggregate by hour and day of week to surface stable geographical hotspot. Temporal demand. Here's the headline: demand climbs sharply from 6 a.m. through 9 a.m. The first 10 hours illustrate the ramp clearly. Despite volume, the median trip stays near 12 to 13 minutes, which is classic short hop urban behavior. In other words, even at peak, riders are making quick point to point trips, not long sightseeing rides. That stability in duration is useful when planning station capacity threshold. MapReduce reveals a small set of corridors doing over outsized work. Example includes all these addresses, trip range for the period. These are not one-off routes. They represent persistent commuting and crosstown patterns. If you are deciding where to pre-position bikes each morning, start with these corridors. So for the graph matrix, counts alone aren't strategy. The station network tells you which docks are structurally important. High all these addresses stations are strong sources. PageRank goes a step further. All these addresses shown in the picture rank at the top, indicating global influence across many paths. Those are your don't fail hubs. They deserve priority for staging, maintenance, and redundancy. Especially the hottest styles are exactly where you did expect. Manhattan score roughly 40.72 to 40.76 N. The top tile alone holds 324K stats. In the evening peak tiles like 40.75 to minus 73.98 at 1700. Log log trips with 14-minute average. Saturdays show their own spike 40.72 to minus 73.99. Tops 71K. Stats so the weekend pattern is not just a copy of the weekday commute. Operational translation, concrete trucks and staff in those core tiles during the evening window. That's where you win or lose the day. Um, for blunt conclusion, temporal, the schedule is predictable. AM ramp, PM surge, staff accordingly. Corridors, a handful of pairs carry a lot of city service. Those first. Hubs, the page rank leaders are the backbones, treat them that way. Spatial, um, don't chase demand around the map. Stage is in the hot tiles and let riders come to you. Limitations, no analysis is perfect. Mixed timestamps format, forced legacy parsing, and multi patterns fallbacks. Robust but not elegant. The window is only May to July 2024. Seasonality and special events are out of scope. Edges in the graphs are aggregated trips, capacity and outages aren't modeled, and one tile grid tile are a practical proxy for geography. They ignore the street network. None of the breaks the conclusions, but it's worth stating plainly. I meant plainly. Conclusion, the pipeline is reliable, reproducible, and actionable. It confirms strong commuter peaks, a small set of dominant corridors, a few structural critical hubs, and a compact geographic core where most action happens. If you execute rebalancing against those facts, time window, corridors, hubs, hot tiles, you reduce deadhead time and missed dock scenarios. Future work, triangle motifs on the graphs and geometric hull buffer, analysis to quantify coverage overlap and resilience. Thank you. I'm happy to take any question about the data, the methods, or any operations this finding in daily rebalancing. Thank you so much.